joined by freshman cross-country runner Maggie Hanlon as the Hawks will compete next weekend in the Princeton Invitational. They come off of the Paul Short run this past weekend. Maggie, before we get to this season, I want to talk a little bit about your father who was honored this past week at Founders Day. Kind of take us through the ceremony. What was the ceremony like, and what was the day like for your family?
The day was very eventful. First, we went to Wilson Hall and had a nice dinner with everybody and someone from the Alumni Association. And then we went to the Pollock Theater, and he got inducted. And they gave him the award. They gave him a speech. It was really nice. It was really cool.
This season, turning attention to you now on the cross-country team in 2013, the freshmen have run as a whole very well. What has kind of been the key to the success there?
I think the key this year was that we're all in a pack, so it's what we've actually never had before. So it's very different, but in inspirational way, where we can see someone and go to that group, and it's a lot easier to run. So.
What has the transition been like now this year, coming in and running at Monmouth now?
It's been more of an easy transition because there was 14 freshmen, so we're all doing it together. So it was easier as a group.
Maggie, thank you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Happy to take a few minutes with cross-country coach Joe Compagni. The Hawks coming off of a solid weekend at Lehigh this past weekend. But first, Coach, I want to talk about Brian Hanlon a little bit. He was honored this past week at Founders Day. Talk a little bit about the former track athlete.
You know, it's been great. I've known Brian for a few years. He ran here at Monmouth. It was Monmouth College at the time in the 80s. Was one of the captains of the cross-country team at the time. And he's one of our alums who's really kept in touch and been great about being supportive of the team. He's actually running some of our alumni events as well. So it was really nice to see him get honored. He's done some tremendous work, so it was really nice.
Now you have Maggie Hanlon on the women's squad. As a group, the freshman women have done a great job this year in the early going, including Maggie and the rest of them. Talk about their performance a little bit.
Our freshmen have been great for us this year. They're a big group and a good group, and they've been very helpful to each other, and our veterans have done a nice job of helping them out and helping them give us a chance to contribute right away.
On the men's side, you have Khari Bowen this week named the MAC Runner of the Week, the ECAC Runner of the Week. The men come off of a very strong finish at the Paul Short run. Talk a little bit about Khari Bowen, a first-place finish this past week.
It was a great race. I thought the men did a nice job of easing their way up toward the front, and Khari made a big move when some other guys didn't want to, kind of mid-race, to get away from a big field of about 400 guys. So it was really a nice race for him. And the rest of our guys really ran tough as well, and I think that bigger things are ahead for them in the next few weeks.
The last 3 weeks, the men have been ranked in the Mid-Atlantic region in the top 15. This past week on Monday, they move up to 13th, the highest they've been all season. Has to mean a lot to the program.
It is nice. I think the guys are glad to see where they are now. They know for us in our sport it's really about being ready at the end of the season and where you're ranked at the end. But they're going in the right direction, so they've taken some good steps the last few weeks.
An idle weekend coming in this coming weekend. Next weekend you go to Princeton. What is the transition like now? You have a couple of days. You don't want to say free, but you're not racing on Saturday. Is the training any different? The preparation a little different these 2 weeks?
It is a little bit different. It gives us a chance to do some things and get some training done that it's harder to do in a race week. So we like to have that time in between to really put a lot of work in that's going to help us a couple weeks down the road.